AI is totally changing the game at work. I mean, it's reshaping everything from how we get hired to how we get reviewed. And yeah, it promises this super efficient, data-driven future. But as these tools start showing up in our offices, it brings up a really, really big question for all of us.
No, seriously, stop and think about that for a second. Would you be cool with an algorithm deciding your next promotion or handling your performance review? It's a huge question, and it really gets to the heart of this major conflict that's bubbling up in workplaces everywhere. Because on one side, you have this incredible optimism. Get this, over half of us, 54%, would actually trust an AI more than our own manager to give us unbiased feedback. Wild, right? But then on the other side, there's this deep skepticism. Almost the exact same number of people, just 52%, are actually okay with AI having a role at their company. So we want the objectivity, but we're really worried about the fairness. And that, right there, is a massive trust gap.
So let's dive into what's really going on here. We're calling this the AI trust paradox. We're hopeful, that AI could get rid of some of that human bias we all know exists. But at the same time, we're deeply skeptical about how these things are actually going to be used. And sorting this out, it's not just some nice to have. For businesses today, it is an absolute must.
So, why is this such a big deal for businesses? Why is trust the #1 goal? Well, because the moment you start using AI for something as personal and as critical as someone's career path, the stakes just couldn't be higher. We're talking about huge impacts for employees, for managers, and of course, for the company as a whole. I mean, think about it. If your employees don't trust the system, things can go south fast. Morale just plummets. Companies end up wasting millions on fancy AI tools that no one even wants to use. And even worse, they're opening themselves up to all kinds of employee disputes, legal headaches, and PR nightmares.
The industry analyst Josh Bersin really nails it with this quote. He says that the very credibility of HR is on the line. You get this right, and your company looks fair, innovative, and ahead of the curve. But if you get it wrong, wow, that can cause some serious, long-lasting damage. At the end of the day, it all comes down to trust.
So what's actually causing this trust gap? All right, let's meet the main villains in this story. The key challenges that every company has to tackle if they want AI to be a trusted partner instead of, a source of fear and suspicion. First up, we've got the black box effect, and this one is a huge trust killer. Just imagine an AI gives you a low performance score, but nobody, not your boss, not HR, nobody can actually explain why. The decision feels totally random and unfair, and it just leaves you feeling completely powerless. And this brings us to villain number 2, algorithmic bias. The classic cautionary tale here is that Amazon hiring tool. It was supposed to be objective, right? But it learned from decades of biased hiring data that was already in their system. And the result? The AI literally taught itself to penalize resumes from women. Amazon had no choice but to scrap the entire project. Okay, so let's put it all together. You've got 4 main trust killers. First, algorithmic bias, where the AI just ends up copying our own past mistakes. Then there's opacity. That's the black box that makes decisions feel like a mystery. Then you have privacy fears, because who wants to feel like they're being watched all the time? And finally, a big one, lack of accountability. When the AI messes up, who takes the blame? These 4 things are the core reasons people are so hesitant to trust AI with their jobs. Okay, so that's the bad news, but here's the good news. This is fixable. These challenges are not impossible to solve. There's actually a pretty clear blueprint for building that trust, a real actionable toolkit for turning AI from this mysterious overlord into a valued and trusted partner. The strategy is actually pretty straightforward, but you've got to be committed. Step 1, be transparent. You have to pull back the curtain and explain what the AI is doing. Step 2, ensure fairness. That means you have to actively hunt for bias and stamp it out. Step 3, and this one is absolutely critical. Always, always keep a human in the loop to make the final call. And step 4, communicate. Talk to your employees, not at them. Involve them every step of the way. But that last point, the communication part? Yeah, we are failing badly. A staggering 80% of employees say their company has 0 shared guidelines on how to use AI ethically. That is a massive communication black hole, and it is just fueling all of this distrust. And we've already seen what happens when you ignore this blueprint, right? You get the Amazon situation, a biased, unaudited algorithm that completely tanks your reputation and destroys employee trust in an instant.
It is the perfect example of what not to do.
Okay, so what does it look like when you get it right? Let's look at a best practice. One company used an AI tool not to make decisions, but just to offer insights. It analyzed who was talking in meetings, who was getting interrupted. And with that simple data, managers could lead fairer, more inclusive conversations. The result? Employee satisfaction with reviews shot up by 40%. Now that's using AI as a trusted assistant.
And that last example really gets to the heart of it all. See, the future isn't about choosing humans or AI. It's about building a powerful human plus AI partnership, one that combines the best of technology with the best of our own human empathy. This is what that ideal partnership looks like. Think of it this way. AI is the analyst. It crunches all the data, it finds the patterns, it makes objective recommendations. And that frees up the human manager to be the coach, to provide the context, the empathy, and to make that final nuanced decision that only a person can.
So at the end of the day, a trustworthy AI doesn't get rid of the human touch. It actually enhances it. It takes all that heavy data lifting off of managers' plates so they can spend way more time doing what really matters, coaching, developing, and supporting their people. And that leads to a culture where people feel seen, valued, and treated fairly.
Which brings us right back to that big question we started with. Is AI a threat to fairness at work, or is it our best hope for finally achieving it? Well, the answer, as we've seen, isn't really in the technology itself. It's in how we, as people, choose to build it and use it. The outcome depends entirely on whether or not we decide to make trust the foundation from day one.